the verb determines the nature of the verb. When the indefinite pronoun all is used, it could either take a singular or plural verb, determining on whether the pronoun or noun is a countable or an uncountable subject. If the subject is a countable noun or pronoun, a plural verb is required, but if it is an uncountable noun or pronoun, it will agree with a singular verb. Examples: we are considering the uncountable nouns first. Not all that glitters is gold, then all is well. These examples reflect uncountable nouns at the subject level. The subjects of the sentences are uncountable nouns. Then the countable nouns, we have all are called, few are selected. All that is being referred to is referring to human beings, and human beings is a countable noun. So we have all are called, few are selected. Then we have all parents are the same. Parent is a countable noun, and that is why we are using are, and because it is used in a plural sense. Is sounds in English language. In English language, there are 44 sounds, and they are divided into two. We have the consonant sounds and the vowel sounds. The consonant sounds are 24 in number, while the vowel sounds are 20 in number. The vowel sounds are further divided into two. We have 12 monophthongs and 8 diphthongs. Now let's look at the organs of speech. There are some organs of the body that are responsible for the speech we produce. It starts with the lungs, the lips, the teeth, the palate, the tongue, the oral cavity, nasal cavity, the pharynx. We have the larynx, that is the vocal cord, and some other parts of the body. Now we are going to be considering the consonant sounds first. We have a chart A, which is called the consonant chart. In describing consonant sounds, there are three factors that we consider. We consider the place of articulation, that is, those organs of the body that are responsible for production of each of these sounds. And then we have the manner of articulation, that is, the way and manner at which each of these sounds are produced. And then we have the state of the glottis, whether it is voiced or voiceless. Now let's look at how consonant sounds are described in English language. Under this, we consider the consonant sound in relation to their respective production, their pronunciation, and spellings. We are also going to talk about some of the examples of each of these sounds. Consonant sounds that are produced with obstruction of air at the vocal cord during production. We are also going to talk about that. That is, how air is obstructed at the point of production that makes a sound voiced or voiceless. Then we'll be considering the obstruction or closure of air in the vocal cord. We'll consider whether it's partial or total. We'll also consider the distinguishing feature of the place of articulation and manner of articulation, as well as the state of the glottis. Consonant sounds and their places of articulation, that is the first feature we'll be considering. The place of articulation explains where a sound is obstructed in the vocal tract. Such places of articulation include, the first one we'll be talking about is the bilabial. The bilabial has to do with sounds produced with the two lips. Examples include the sound pa, ba, ma, and wa. The second one is alveolar. The alveolar has to do with sounds that are produced when the tip of the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth, immediately behind the upper teeth. The alveolar is that region immediately behind the upper teeth, that is the hard palate towards the front part of the mouth. And examples of such sound are t, d, n, l, s, z, and r. Then the next one is labiodental. From that word labiodental, we discover that two words have been merged, that is labio and dental. Labio has to do with the lip, a lip, and then the teeth. So sounds produced in this manner are produced with the upper teeth and the lower lip. That is, the upper teeth and the lower lip glide together. And examples of such sounds are and the next one is the dental sounds. Dental sounds are produced with the tip of the tongue blocking the free flow of air by gliding with the upper teeth. Examples are the sound and we have palatal. Palatal sounds are produced when the tongue is touching the hard palate. The hard palate means the roof of the mouth, that is the hard part of the roof of the mouth. There are two parts in the roof of the mouth. We have the hard palate, that is the one towards the front of the mouth, and then the other one behind, towards the throat. It is called the soft palate. So palatal sounds are those ones that are produced when the tongue is touching the hard palate. We have just one palatal sound in English language, and that is j. The next one is palatoalveolar. Palatoalveolar sounds are produced when the tongue is touching the hard palate and the tip of the tongue is touching the alveolar. So we have the tongue touching two parts of the mouth at the same time. The body of the tongue is raised towards the hard palate, while the tip of the tongue is touching the alveolar ridge. Examples are sh, j, ch, and j. The next one is velar. Velar sounds are produced when the back of the tongue is touching the soft palate or the vellum. The soft palate is also referred to as the vellum. Examples include k, g, and ng. The glottis. There is only one glottal sound in English language, and that is h. It is called glottis because it is produced with the larynx, which consists of two vocal cords that have an opening between them. So it is produced from the back of the mouth. Now we are going to be considering consonant sounds and their manners of articulation. That is talking about how we can describe consonant sounds. The first one we'll be considering is the plosive sounds. Plosive sounds are produced when there is total obstruction of air in the organs that are responsible for their production. And when there is obstruction of air, suddenly the air is released, causing a vibration. These sounds are also called stop, and their examples are pa, ba, ta, da, ka, and g. The next one is fricative. Fricative sounds are produced when there is a partial closure in the organ of speech, coupled with a slow and continuous release of air. So unlike the plosive sounds, these involve just partial closure in the organs of speech responsible. So there is partial closure in fricative, while in plosive we have total obstruction. Examples of fricative sounds are sh, the, v, sh, z, h, and sh. Affricates. We have sounds that are called affricates too. In their production, there used to be total obstruction of air in the organs responsible, but the air is gradually released. Examples of such sounds are ch and j. We have nasal sounds as well. Nasal sounds are produced when the vellum is lowered to allow the free flow of air through the nasal cavity. Such sounds are naturally voiced. So all nasal sounds are voiced. None of them is voiceless. Examples of nasal sounds are m, n, and n. Lateral sounds. There is only one lateral sound in English language, and it is produced with obstruction of air at the center of the mouth, but a free flow of air at the two sides. So when you produce the lateral sound, there is obstruction of air at the center of the mouth, but the air is freely flowing, will be flowing freely on the two sides of the mouth. That is, the tongue will be blocking the center while the air will flow through the two sides of the tongue. The only lateral sound in English language is L. We have approximants. These are sounds that are also referred to as a semi-vowel because there is a free flow of air during their production and there is no obstruction. So examples include J and W. Retroflex approximants. There is only